A happy 4th of July from San Francisco. We're at Candlestick Park for the second game of a 4-game series. The Cardinals going up against the Giants, who lead the National League West. Pleasant 4th of July to you, everybody. Jay Randolph to call the play-by-play along with Mike Shannon. Jack Buck joins us a bit later on. 65 degrees. As usual, it's windy at the stick. We're playing on natural surface and a beautiful day here in the Bay Area. The Cardinals were 1-0 losers here last night. They find themselves 22 games out of first place. They've lost 7 in a row. Things continue very poorly, but let's hope that on this July 4th we have a good baseball game this afternoon. Happy 4th to you, sir.
And a happy 4th to you and to everyone out there. And what a great 4th of July this is, with the reconstruction, you might say, of the Lady of Liberty, and of course all those festivities. A nice crowd out here in San Francisco, about 25,000 today. Two good pitchers, two right-handers, Mike Lacoste against Ray Burris. Lacoste is 2-0 this year against the Cardinals, and Ray Burris beat the Giants in his only outing this 1986 season, so we'll see who gives here this afternoon.
The manager's meeting with the men in blue at home plate. We'll come back for the starting lineups right after these messages.
The men in blue today have the responsibility of home plate. Bob Engel, Tom Hallion, the rookies at first, Paul Runge at second, and Dave Pallone in the rocking chair at third. Here's how the Cardinal lineup will stack against San Francisco here on this 4th of July, with Ray Burris, the big right-hander, going after his 5th win of the season. He's won 4 times. He'll have Vince Coleman in left, Ozzie at short, Willie McGee in center field, Clint Hurdle once again the cleanup man at first, Kurt Ford in right, Tommy Hurd second, Mike LaValliere does the catching, and Terry Pendleton will be the Redbird third baseman this afternoon. For the San Francisco Ball Club, they will send Mike Lacoste, and what a season he's putting together. He's 7-3 already for 1986. Here's a guy that no one wanted. He was released. He was in the minor leagues last year, so he is a very strong candidate for comeback player of the year. He's beaten the Cardinals twice this season, and during the 16 and the third innings he's worked against the Cardinals, he has an earned run average of 0.55. They have Ray Kutcher, who hit the home run to win it last night for the Giants, to lead it off and play center field. Rob Thompson's their second baseman. Joel Youngblood, who's been playing very well, as most of the San Francisco club has, will be in left, hit third. Chili Davis is their big man, RBI-wise. He's third in the league with 53. He'll be in right and hitting fourth. Chris Brown at third. Harry Spillman, another reject, will be in the lineup today. Bob Melvin's their catcher. Jose Uribe will be the shortstop. And Mike Lacoste going for his 8th win of the season on the hill. It's the Cards, it's the Giants. It's a happy 4th. And we'll come back here to Candlestick Park on a windy, sunny afternoon. You'll see some guys track some fly balls today and have some problems right after you review these very important messages. There you see the very well manicured field here in San Francisco, California. Jay Randolph was out here early this morning painting those stripes on the field for you, just to make it look good for his big game tomorrow for the NBC network. It's Youngblood, Kutcher, and Davis in the outfield, with Brown, Uribe, and Thompson. The 3 guys up the middle, with Spillman at first base. Lacoste and Melvin, the battery today in San Francisco, is riding high, to say the least. Here they are on the 4th of July, first place in the National League West. And Jay Randolph, if you'd have made those wagers somewhere around the spring, you'd have a truck loaded in your front yard with anything you wished in it.
Well, we're ready to go here on a beautiful day, and the crowd's still coming in. Nearly 50,000 were here last night, as the Giants were 1-0 winners on a home run by Randy Kutcher in the 6th inning, as Krukow did a good job, a 4-hitter. There you get a look at Mike Lacoste, as Mike Shannon has mentioned. He was signed on as a free agent here. It gave him a shot and he is 5-5. The ERA is a bit high, 5.17. Versus the Cardinals over the years. He has been in 19 games against the Cardinals with that record. And of course, he is 7-3 this season.
And his record this year against the Cardinals is 2-0 with an ERA of 0.55. So, as old Satchel Paige would say, never look back. Never look back, and that's what Lacoste has done this season. He has a very good sinker, and he, along with a lot of other pitchers around both the American and National League, have picked up that very effective delivery taught by the manager here, Roger Craig, and it's been a big help to him.
Craig has a new pitcher signed last evening, and he's on hand here. Steve Carlton. We may have a shot of him a little later on. He was throwing earlier and is holding a news conference here today, the first I think he's held since about 1978. But we'll talk about that as we go along here this afternoon. Coleman leading it off, batting .256, 17 runs batted in. Coleman, who went 0 for 3 here last night. The Cardinals as a team are batting .230. They've hit 26 home runs, and Lacoste is set and ready to go. Bob Engel behind the plate calling the balls and strikes, and Lacoste catches the outside corner. This man leading the major leagues in triples with 17. The Cardinals have as many triples, 26, as they do home runs. Birds have stolen 127 bases to lead the National League, of course, in that department. Committed 61 errors and turned 87 double plays.
When you look at this lineup, you don't expect the long ball, do you? 7 home runs in the entire lineup.
The Cardinals have lost 7 in a row. Their longest losing streak of the year was 7. They ended a 7-game losing streak here at Candlestick back on April the 28th against the Giants. Cardinals start the day 22 games back of the Mets. Hard to believe. That's outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, I hope many of you on the riverfront in St. Louis today have your portable televisions with you and are enjoying the festivities as St. Louis celebrates America's birthday way outside and way gone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Budweiser presented a giant fireworks display here at the end of the game last night, and the Giants were celebrating their move back into first place. They lead Houston by a half a game. The Giants now with a record of 43-36. The Cardinals 32-44. And the 2-2 offering from Lacoste is high, and the count is full. Cardinals 14-16 playing day baseball. They are 9-16 against the Western Division clubs. 16-18 on the road, 5-13 on grass, and 19-29 against right-handers. Don't ask any questions. That's all you get.
How about in dome stadiums?
Here's a walk to Coleman. And the speedster is down there at first base.
Batting second, number 1, shortstop, Ozzie Smith.
Coleman.
I'm sure that Mr. Coleman has one thing that he'd like to accomplish this season, and that's steal 119 bases.
Break Lou Brock's record.
See what he does about getting on here in the first inning.
Coleman with 51 on the year, and Ozzie Smith at the dish. Ozzie went 1 for 3 last night. The average is .297. Melvin looked like he might throw down there to Spillman, who is stationed at first base. Friendly played that position last night here. Spillman used to be with Cincinnati and Houston. And throw over to first. Smith has hit in 13 of his last 16 games. And again a throw over. With 39 walks so far, Ozzie's on a pace for 83, which would give him a career high. 1980, he received 71 walks.
He's going. They'll never get it.
And he is safe.
Melvin has done an unbelievable job of throwing base runners out in the last couple of weeks. He's thrown out 8 of his last 13 prior to that. And Vince Coleman had an unbelievable jump off of Lacoste as he took so much time getting it down there. And look how close Melvin still made it.
Yes,
with
he
a
did.
perfect throw. Coleman
really
goes into a base as hard as anyone you'll ever see. Look at him as he slides in there. He still goes all the way down to his ankles across the base.
128 stolen bases on the year for the Redbirds, and now 52 for Coleman. So a runner in scoring position here in the opening inning. And 2 balls and no strikes to Ozzie. And Ozzie with a little bunt down the left side. And a beautiful, beautiful play by Smith. He was able to deaden that ball on this grass, and this infield here is rather high. And he had the backspin on it. It just stopped dead. And there are runners at the corners with none gone as Smith picks up the bunt single.
He got a very good pitch to bunt. It was an off-speed delivery, up and out over the plate. And that's what enabled him to get that good spin on the ball. As you see him drop it down there, he knows he has himself a base hit, and all Brown can do is check Vince Coleman over at third.
McGee's average is 237, 31 runs batted in. Let's see if Ozzie wants to do some running. McGee 0 for 4 here last night. To the right side, through the hole. The Cardinals lead it 1-0.
In the early going, Lacoste is up with his pitches. He's having control problems, and the Redbirds are capitalizing on it in a big hurry.
RBI number 32 on the year for McGee.
Watch where this pitch is. Belt high and bang into right field.
Batting fourth, number 13, first baseman, Hurdle.
Clint Hurdle went 0 for 4 here last night, batting only .138. Has a home run, 6 runs batted in. The Cardinals have plated 1, have 2 on and none out opening inning. Trying to do some heavy damage early. Let's see if Hurdle can keep it going. Strike on the outside corner. Hurdle has started at 4 different positions and appeared at 5 this season. He's been behind the plate. He's been at first and third and in left and right fields. That's a little high. 1 ball and 1 strike. The San Francisco area will have a big celebration at Chrissy Park down on the Presidio up near the Golden Gate this evening. They have their 4th of July celebration.
You're great on that geography, man.
Around he went. It's a strike. Well, I bet they're really having a great time on the riverfront in St. Louis. Expecting about 900,000 down there, I guess, today. And those of you watching us, hope you're having a splendid 4th of July. Caught the corner. And Hurdle has a few words with Bob Engel before he heads back to the dugout. First strikeout for Lacoste. And we'll get a look at young Kurt Ford. Ford recalled from Louisville on June the 13th at his first major league home run. A boomer at Philadelphia. Way up on the right side. Ford 11 for 29 over his last 10 games. 2 on and 1 out, and that's foul outside of third. I think I said last night that Ford had homered in St. Louis. That home run he hit was in Philadelphia, and it was way over that exit out in right field. Fouled away. Ford has hit in his last 6 starts 9 for 22, batted .409 over that span.
He's all but taking the right field job. 305 the average as he stands in.
Jack Clark, of course, out of the lineup with the hand injury. Clark made the trip west with the Cardinals, and he made it with a great big cast on his right hand. 0-2.
Just a bandage on his right hand. He'll have the cast put on Tuesday.
That's just a bandage?
That's
Just
a
it
bandage.
looked like a boxing glove.
Bigger than a boxing
Yeah,
glove.
it's the biggest thing I've ever seen. Two strikes, the count to Ford. 1 run home, 1 out, and 2 on. Ozzie and Willie are on the bases. That's outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, I hope you folks last evening enjoyed Channel 5's coverage of the Vail Prophet Parade and all the festivities. And again today, and of course the play from Wimbledon. There'll be more Wimbledon tennis coming up, of course, tomorrow and Sunday. The women's finals tomorrow and the men's finals on Sunday. And they're going to try to get 2, not in time at first base. Ozzie goes over to third. Ford reaches on the fielder's choice, and it's up to Tommy Herr.
Number 28, second baseman, Tommy Herr.
Ford runs very well. Herr batting .223. And now the second baseman, Robbie Thompson, wants to come in and talk with Lacasse.
They're talking about the double steal. First and third. What they want to do.
Well, and let's see what Whitey Herzog employs with the speedy Ford now at first, and Ozzie down there at third. 2 gone. Herr last night, after striking out, doubled and was gunned down in the 5th when he tried to make it a triple. He got an infield single in the 7th and was doubled off. Throw over, and back in time is Kurt Ford. Now Ford wants to do some work on the base path out there as time is called. You see Bob Engel looking out at him. And we're set to go. At the moment, not nearly as windy as it was here last night, but it'll fool you here, of course. The wind swirls. They pitched out, and you'll see Roger Craig do that quite often. He'll pitch out when you can't imagine he's going to do it.
He pitches out at breakfast, cocktail parties, whatever.
Whatever. 1 ball and no strikes.
Besides the wind today, Jay, players will also have to contend with this bright sun and a very high sky.
Yeah, high sky, not a cloud in it. There goes the runner, and a strike, and out at second. Ford is gunned down by Melvin. The Cardinals pick up a run on 2 hits. After a half inning of play, the Redbirds lead the Giants. Back at Candlestick, the Cardinals in the field this afternoon. Coleman, McGee, and Ford, Pendleton, Smith, Herr, and Hurdle, and Ray Burris and Mike LaValliere, the battery. While we were away, Steve Carlton was introduced to the crowd here, and they gave him a standing ovation. Lefty, at the moment, is scheduled to pitch here on Sunday against Danny Cox. Tomorrow, it will be Tudor for the Cardinals against Vida Blue. Ray Burris, a 4-3 record, a 3.88 ERA.
Number 9.
Leading off for the Giants, the man who won it last night for San Francisco with the home run, Kutcher. And that is inside for a ball. Randy Kutcher, the center fielder, hitting .254, 3 home runs now, 6 runs batted in. Purchased from Phoenix in June. And foul outside of third. Kutcher, born in Anchorage, Alaska, grew up in California. He's a carpenter in the offseason. And he's been pretty impressive here. Way back. It's gone. Second home run in less than 24 hours for Kutcher. And it's tied up at 1.
Well, Mr. Kutcher was tearing up the Pacific Coast League, and the San Francisco organization said, well, why are we wasting it in AAA when we can have that kind of punch here in the National League? He homered over the center field fence last night. In this one, he spreads to the kids out in left field.
Steve Carlton is down there amidst all of that crowd. Maybe we can get a shot of him a little later on. Robbie Thompson's batting .262. 25 runs batted in, 3 home runs. Thompson, just 24 years old, was the Giants' #1 selection in the June '83 draft in the secondary phase. The Giants have a team batting average of .262, second best in the National League. They've now hit 54 home runs. That's a good one on the inside corner. There is the new Giant, Steve Carlton, talking things over
with his old buddy, Mike Krukow. They were together in Philadelphia.
Fouled away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Thompson, 7 stolen bases. The Giants running more. They have 88 stolen bases this year. Ozzie deep in the hole, slipped. Can he make it in time? Yes.
You'll never see a better one.
Ooh-wee, that infield out there, of course, a little slick still on top. They really water it down here because of the wind.
Backhand, slips, regains, and gets all kinds of muscle on that throw. Ask about his arm. How's it doing? There's a great example. It's doing just fine. He had to use nothing but arm on that throw because when he slipped, he lost all of his balance to try to set that foot.
Joel Youngblood's batting .268. One ball and 1 strike. Jeff Leonard received anti-inflammatory shots in his right wrist yesterday, and he may be ready to play tomorrow. He's missed 4 of the last 6 games. The Giants have had their share of injuries, but they have hung very, very tough.
Jeff told me, Jay, that he was probably going to try it Saturday and Sunday and go Monday and Tuesday and then try to reassess it.
Into left. Youngblood. A 1-out single. Kutcher led it off with the home run. And Ozzie makes the fine play on Thompson, and now Youngblood single.
Breaking ball just didn't do much breaking.
LaValliere out talking to Burris. The Giants have Jim Gott, a right-hander, and Roger Mason, a right-hander, on the DL. Will Clark, their first baseman, the youngsters, on the DL. Gladden, the outfielder, on the DL, and left-hander Atlee Hammaker is also on the disabled list.
Atlee has permission from his doctor now to start tossing a little bit.
Chili Davis batting at .290. And he couldn't catch up with that one. Davis, the switch hitter, led the Giants in batting last season. You remember he hit .315 in '84. Hitting .325. on the left side. Double play ball. Herr gets it over in time, and the Cardinals turn the double play, but Kutcher has tied it up with his 4th home run of the season, and he came up in the middle of June. It'll be Herr, LaValliere, and Pendleton. We're tied at 1 after 1. Channel 5 has a lot of Cardinal baseball coming your way this weekend. Tomorrow afternoon and Sunday afternoon, we'll be right here at Candlestick Park to bring you more Cardinals-Giants action, so hope you'll stay with us. 3 o'clock, the airtime for tomorrow afternoon's game, when it will be Tudor for the Redbirds against Vida Blue. Tommy Herr was at the plate when Ford was thrown out, and he is standing in there now with 1 strike as he fouled that first pitch away.
How's your mailbag been, big boy?
Well, I have some announcements here. One of them blew away, by golly. I don't know. I want to say hello to our friend Tom Andes, who's having a big time on this July 4th. This is foul down the left side, and Youngblood can't get to it. They're having a big yard party over in Belleville. Tom and his gang are together there, and I know they're watching this afternoon. Nice note from great Cardinal fan Ray McGuire down in Cuba, Missouri. Ray's a great member of the American Legion down there and a great Cardinal fan. It's good to hear from him, and glad he's been enjoying the telecast. Herr singles into left. Now, Tommy, who had a couple of hits last night but couldn't get anything done when there were base running problems, has a leadoff single here in the 2nd inning. Mike LaValliere, who they insist on calling LaValliere here, batting .265. Letter from the old knot-holer from Florissant, Irv Tongay, his monthly missile. He hadn't given up on the Cardinals yet, but always nice to hear from him.
Hope is eternal,
yes,
huh?
sir. Hope
Is
springs.
eternal.
Hope springs. And a nice note from Harry Gaines, the brother of Art Gaines, of course, the fellow who had that wonderful baseball camp down in Honeywell, Missouri. He sent us a very interesting article, and thanks to Art Gaines and to his brother Harry Gaines out in Baldwin, Missouri. 1-1 the score here.
That's it for the mailbag.
That's it today.
Little light.
Well, I say some of it blew away here in the wind. And Herr is out. I'll tell you, this Melvin,
He can throw, folks.
he can get that ball down there in fine fashion. Herr is cut down, and he had 2 hits last night, hit here today, and he has been erased on all 3 occasions.
Well, we told you earlier about Melvin throwing out 8 of 13. He's now thrown out 10 of 16. As Coleman stole the base in the first, he had a tremendous jump, and he barely got in there.
He sure did.
The other 2 guys naturally aren't in Vince's class, and they were cut down easily, Ford and Herr. I have to think, though, that was the hit and run, Jay, rather
I think
than
you're probably
the
right.
straight steal.
2 balls and 1 strike to LaValliere. Smokey up the middle for a single. That's the way the Birds are going. You live by that speed, you can sometimes get killed by it, and certainly things have not been going well for the Redbirds lately in the running department.
Fastball, and Smokey puts the big end out and whacks it into center field. I don't think we have to worry about Smokey getting thrown out stealing. In fact, they'll play behind him over there, won't even hold him up.
Terry Pendleton. Pendleton averaging .214, 19 runs batted in, has been absolutely superb in the field. I'd like to see this fellow really start doing some hitting. That was a strike on the inside corner.
Superb. They don't use superb in the dugout, Jay.
Sensational.
Well, they use sensational. They use Pickett down there.
He can
They
pick.
use vacuum cleaner, Zamboni.
Yeah.
They use clean, cool.
Well, he's been something else. Pops it up.
Always have a chance here when the ball goes up.
Uribe, the shortstop, made the play.
And you always see the other fielders giving whoever wants to catch it all the room that he wants. They never get close to him because he may lose it in some way, and they don't want to be around for the blame. Watch when the ball goes up.
They had time here. They draw straws to see
now
who
watch
has
this.
to do this.
Second baseman.
Look, he says,
he's shading his eyes, and he
gone.
sees he's got it. I'm getting away. They let him have all the room he wants here.
Ray Burris.
Then he comes over and says, "How you doing? All right."
That's right. You okay? Ray Burris is batting 190. Has 7 runs batted in. Fouls it away.
More runs batted in than Clint Hurdle, than Kurt Ford, than LaValliere. Now LaValliere has more than 2. We've got him listed down here.
Yeah, that's not right. Is it?
Check that.
That has got to be a typo. Let's check that out.
He got 6 of those 7 RBIs on 2 base hits. His first time at bat in a Cardinal uniform this year, he doubled with the bases loaded. And then the next time he came to bat as a starter, the next time out, he did the same thing. So with a pair of doubles, he collected 6 RBIs.
LaValliere has 11 runs batted in.
That's more like it.
One ball and 2 strikes to Ray Burris. Cardinals trying to stop an 7-game losing streak. They ended a 7-game streak here on the 28th of April. If they lose today, 8 will be their longest skid of the season. Burris hanging in.
Did a rip at that one, didn't he?
Well, a lot of folks with us, Mike, on this 4th of July, 1986, as America celebrates a birthday. Good look at Lacasse, looking into Bob Melvin.
Folks are
Inside.
picking us up down in Tampa, Florida today. Jay Randolph.
That's a great area, that Tampa-St. Petersburg area. Of course, the Cardinals train over at St. Petersburg.
They're out at Feather Sound today in the clubhouse. Checking the old Jay-Bird out. They want to know if your handicap is still 2.
Oh, it's 5.
5.
1-1.
Those
is
guys,
the score
I
on the
guarantee
board
you, the
here.
boys at Feather Sound don't think you're a 5. Or over at
A struggling
Lakeside.
5. A struggling 5.
Wonder how our buddy George is over there at Lakeside. It is Lakeside.
Good play is made by Thompson, and he throws out Burris. Cardinals get a couple of hits. Strand 1 after an inning and a half. But Candlestick and Old San Francisco. It'll be Brown, Spillman, and Melvin. We're tied at 1. Entertainment of our audience and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Cardinals and Major League Baseball is prohibited. Later on in the game, we'll have a complete McDonald's scoreboard for you. New York defeated Houston 2-1. Gooden with a 5-hitter got the victory. Little Lenny Dykstra got the game-winning RBI. And with that New York victory, it means that the Giants have a 1-game lead at the moment in the National League West. Cincinnati's at Philadelphia tonight. Montreal at Atlanta. Chicago at San Diego, and Pittsburgh at L.A. also all this evening. In the 9th, Baltimore is leading Minnesota 12-7. California, Toronto, Kansas City at Cleveland, Seattle at Boston, New York at Chicago, and Oakland at Milwaukee all tonight.
Well, Jay Randolph, we have a very beautiful weather day on the 4th of July all through the country.
Yes,
and, of course, our great network here on Cardinal Baseball. Iowa, Tennessee, Florida, New Mexico, Arkansas, Illinois, Mississippi.
You're watching down in Tulsa, Oklahoma this afternoon.
I'm going to give them something to do. Tell them about it in the next inning as you see this ground ball to Terry Pendleton.
Chris Brown leading it off. Brown batting .340. a controversial season as a rookie, 24 years old. He's really come on and done an excellent job. Brown is the first out in the second inning for the Giants.
You folks get a pencil and paper in the next inning. I'll tell you how to get away from the snow this coming January 1987 and take a cruise with some of the Cardinal players.
It doesn't snow in Tampa.
You never know, Jay. You never know.
All right, well. All right, here's Spillman.
They will in Jonesboro.
Yes, sir. They will indeed.
They're also tuned in Jacksonville, Florida today. And, of course, that's the home of Vince Coleman. They saw their native son steal his 52nd base of the year. And I think that Vince Coleman is going to take a big and a legitimate shot at Lou Brock's 118 this year.
Spillman is out as he grounded out. He started this 86 season at Detroit. He was released there on June 6th and signed by the Giants on June the 13th. Here's Melvin getting a nice hand.
I don't think it snows in Tampa, Florida, huh?
Not very often, I don't think. No.
Well, I mean, not
I don't
often.
know. Maybe they have an ice storm once. I don't know. This is a fair ball. And Melvin on the move for two. And the ball got away down there. And a stand-up double for Bob Melvin.
I can tell you, we don't have much experience in that bullpen down there. Watch him get up and get out of the way of the ball. What they should be doing is letting that ball hit him and make sure it caroms right to the Cardinal left fielder. They're getting out of the way, and that thing's bouncing all over down there. Old trick, the old veterans sit down there. And Carl Sawatsky, for instance, he was a veteran years ago when I was with the Cardinal Club. He'd sit down there, and when the ball would come down there, he'd act like he was getting out of the way and just knock it right to the fielder. Got to teach these kids those kind of tricks.
Jose Uribe, the formerly Jose Gonzalez of the Cardinals, came out here and changed his name, and he's the starting shortstop.
That was like Eric Rasmussen. He changed his name to Harry Rasmussen. Then they had a son, and he named his son Eric.
Uribe is 9 for 23 this season with men in scoring position and 2 outs. He has 25 RBIs. He has a home run. And he is from San Cristobal in the Dominican Republic. Came here with Dave LaPointe, David Green, and Gary Rasich for Jack Clark in the deal that was made in February of '85. An outfielder in high school was Uribe. Into right. But Ford is right there. Oh, he almost let that one get over his head. So, no runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We've played 2 at Candlestick, and the score is knotted up at 1. Cardinals are bringing baseball day back to the stadium this summer. All the youngsters 14 and under with a paid admission to the 12-20 game against the Dodgers on July 19th. Receive that free baseball featuring the Cardinal logo on it. Bring the youngsters to watch the Redbirds and the Dodgers. Take home that colorful logoed baseball. That's baseball day, Saturday, July 19th.
And after you get that baseball, why don't you make plans to bring it along with you on the 2nd annual Cardinal Caravan Cruise.
They toss it around with you, can't they?
You got it right. Join Dal Maxfield, Red Shaindienst, myself, Vince Coleman, the guy coming to bat right now, Terry Pendleton, and other Cardinal players from January the 24th through the 31st, 1987, on a 7-day cruise from San Juan, Puerto Rico, on the Canard Countess. Ports of call will include St. Martin, Guadalupe, St. Lucie, Antigua, and St. Thomas. Enjoy all the features of a normal cruise, plus some special features with the Cardinal Caravan. I'll give you the information on how to get in touch with somebody, and we'll tell you how to do it. Joe Horner's the man, and you can call him during normal business hours at Cardinal Travel in St. Louis. The local number is 895-1010, 895-1010, and then there's a toll-free number. Vince took the first one a ball, and now he takes ball 2. Vince Coleman stole his 52nd base of the season when he walked. He came in to score in the first. And Vince will be on that cruise with us. We'll have some fun. A lot of good eats. A lot of good drinks. Good times. And you'll have some fun down in the Caribbean. Ooh, good sinker. 2-2 now. The toll-free number is 800-325-4133. 800-325-4133. So you want to give your husband a little gift? Give him a ticket for 2 on that cruise. Naturally including you. There, if it stays fair, it is fair. Vince will get a couple. And maybe he'll steal third base this time and make it 53. Jay, I said prior to making this trip, if Vince Coleman can steal about a dozen or 15 bases on this trip, that he will have a legitimate shot at Brock's record. You see him take a high delivery to the opposite field, just stays fair, and he has himself a leadoff double. He's on for the second time, and we'll see if he wants to try to pilfer third base. He swiped second base in the first inning. 1-1 game, third inning action, Candlestick Park, and a nice baseball day. Nice for Candlestick standards anyway. Ozzie bunted safely his first time up. He was going to try it again. He got a slider inside, and he has to take it for a strike. He's right on that coveted 300 mark with a base hit his first time up. Came in hitting .297 today with 25 RBIs. Uribe trying to sneak in behind Vince Coleman. Too low, 1-1. McGee is next. Lacoste has struggled in the early going. Cardinals have 5 base hits off of him, but only 1 run. Got 2 hits and stranded a man in the first. 2 hits and stranded 1 in the second. They get the leadoff double by Vince here in the third.
Ozzie, 324 left-handed.
They play the Cardinals shortstop straight away infield, straight away outfield. Inside again with the slider. And it's 3-1. Third baseman Brown is way in front of the bag. First baseman Spillman even with the base. So a lot of hitting room through the infield with Vince Coleman at second base. Ozzie does the job. He moves Vince over to third, and he's there with only 1 out, and we'll see if McGee can get him home. How come you're not making that cruise with us?
I'm involved in some coverage of major golf tournaments at that time.
Busy man. You're a busy man. What are you doing with all that money is what I want to know. Sue says,
They pay me for this?
Sue says she's seen none of it. Infield's going to come in for the play at the plate. Unusual maneuver with 1 out. Vince Coleman at the third base bag. So Willie has a good chance to knock it through that infield. Good slider. Then he gets out in front of the Cardinals center fielder.
You like the infield in here?
No way.
No, you don't.
No way. All you do is leave yourself open for a big inning. Play him halfway. Took a little off that one, and he had Willie way out in front. I tell you, the Cardinals have had a bugaboo about getting that man home from third with less than 2 outs.
Boy.
All season long. About the only way they've been successful on it, Jay, is with the squeeze.
Recent homestand, the Cardinals were 6 of 52 with runners on.
6 hits and 52 trips.
Yeah.
To the shortstop. Willie can't get it done either, so now it's 2 down. And it's up to Clint Hurdle. A little one-hopper to the shortstop as Willie went the other way after a pitch out of the strike zone. And Uribe throws him out by 25 feet.
Somebody asked Whitey about putting Hurdle in the cleanup spot. He said, well, I put him there because he looks like a cleanup hitter.
Pitcher covers, and the second baseman throws him out. And this inning is over. The Cardinals strand another. They have 5 base hits, and they've scored only once. We go to the San Francisco half of the third, and we're still tied 1-1.
Michael's Living Life in the Fast Lane. Knight Rider at 7. Followed by Miami's Coolest Cops, Crockett and Tubbs, Miami Vice at 8. That's all for you tonight on Channel 5.
Here for you from Candlestick, we have the pitcher Mike Lacoste to lead it off here in the third. And he is their best hitter in the lineup as far as average goes right now. As he stands in, he's hitting .333. He has 2 home runs and 8 RBIs, and a good slider by Burris is in for a called strike. Folks are tuned in today in Davenport, Iowa, Jackson, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Florida, Jonesboro, Arkansas, Las Cruces,
New Mexico.
Las Cruces,
right.
Little Rock, Arkansas, Cape Girardeau, Missouri, Peoria, Illinois, Tampa, Florida, Tulsa, Oklahoma, the old Tulsa Oilers down there, Anthony, Oklahoma, Decatur, Illinois, Del City, Oklahoma, Iowa City, Iowa. And a big breaking ball sends Mike Lacoste back to the bench. The first strikeout for the Cardinal right-hander, Ray Burris. They're listening down and watching down in Midwest Oklahoma, Moore, Oklahoma, Norman, Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, and Springfield, Mississippi. You were busy this winter selling Cardinal baseball, weren't you, Jay? And we hope you folks are enjoying this birthday for the greatest country in the world. July 4th, 1986. Ooh, just missed. This is the leadoff man, Ray Kutcher. He homered here last night to win it 1-0 behind Krukow. Homered his first time up today. Just outside, 2-1. Interesting young man, Ray Kutcher. Jay told you he was born in Anchorage, Alaska. And raised here in California. Randy Kutcher. He was tearing up the Pacific Coast League, AAA affiliate of this giant club in that league. And he tries out. They don't have shortstops like that in the Pacific Coast League. 2 away. And it brings in Rob Thompson. Here's another rookie. The Giants have more rookies on their roster than any other National League team. They have 5 on the roster right now, and they have 2 others that are on the disabled list, including Will Clark, and he's about ready to come off another week or so. He hyperextended his elbow. They sorely missed him. Burris will throw him out. He does, and it's 3 up, 3 down. We've played 3 full innings, and we have a tie. It's 1 for the good guys and 1 for the Giants.
We pause now for local station identification. This is the St. Louis Cardinals Television Network.
Your home for St. Louis Cardinals baseball. This is KLJB-TV Davenport.
Later in the game, we'll pick the Midas Touch Award winner. A donation to Cardinal Glennon's Children's Hospital in the name of the most outstanding player of the game. Here is Ford to lead it off, 4th inning, and here on July 4th is Jack Buck.
Yes, sir. Ford reached on a fielder's choice and was out stealing his first time up. The Cardinals have lost 2 base runners trying to swipe a base. It'll be Ford, Herr, and Levaillier, as the PA announcer calls him here.
I mentioned that earlier.
He likes that.
I guess he does.
Ford drills it high in the air to right center, and it'll be caught by Kutcher. He gives way. Now he makes the catch. Looked like the right fielder, Chili Davis, was going to chase him off, but Kutcher stayed with it and caught the ball. There's 1 gone.
Second baseman.
There was a little confusion out there for a while, wasn't
Yes, there was, and Ford almost got this well enough to get it out of
there?
here.
You see the center fielder drop his hands for a minute, as if to think that the right fielder was going to catch it. On another night, they would have sailed out of here, but Ford is 0 for 2, and Herr is up. He single, was out stealing his first time. Melvin has demonstrated a good throwing arm. He's their catcher today.
He sure has.
Big fella at 6'4", looks a little ungainly behind the plate, but takes care of himself. Ball 1.
He's happy to be back home. He was drafted, of course, by Detroit originally. Tigers' _1 pick back in '81. He's from Palo Alto, just down the road here.
Ford swings, Herr swings and fouls it. Melvin was in that Dave LaPointe trade, wasn't he?
Jack, with that victory for the Mets, they are now 54 and 21.
You mean they're 33 games over 500 and they're 13 ahead of Montreal? They've won 8 in a row. They win a lot of those one-run games. Keith Hernandez drove in a run, and then Len Dykstra, who scored the first run, drove in the winner, and Gooden went all the way.
5-hitter.
And Dave Smith took the loss for Houston. The other games are tonight in the National League. Tom Herr with a foul. He's in the hole, 1 and 2.
They're going to honor a fellow you've admired over the years here on Sunday, Willie McCovey.
Big stretch, as they called him.
Number 44.
And he left here and went to San Diego for a while.
We'll be able to carry some of that ceremony prior to the start of Sunday's game here at the Stick. Oh,
That was a pretty good play.
better than average.
Yes, sir. He got off his feet, and he was hung out to dry when he caught it.
Great camera work by our crew here.
He flew through the air.
With the greatest of ease.
Chris Brown, he's second in the league in hitting, a very good third baseman. I hope he's rewarded with an all-star berth. 2 out. LaValliere, the batter. Single his first time, ball 1. Top of the 4th, we're tied 1-1. 5 hits for the Cards. 3 for the Giants. Redbirds have lost 7 in a row. I see on the board that the Cardinal infielder, Jose Oquendo, is celebrating his 23rd birthday today.
We'll get a shot of Jose.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Mike calls him the secret weapon.
Feliz cumpleaños. There's one for Brown. Caught in the webbing of the glove and threw the man out. He's a heck of a player. And the Cardinals go down in order. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. We're tied 1-1.
Well, there's the birthday boy, Jose Oquendo.
23 years old. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember 23 very well, I'm afraid.
Let's see.
Where was I?
23.
Oh, I was in the service when I was 23 years old. Yeah.
I was in college. Here is Thompson. No, it's Youngblood leading off. Thompson made the last out. You always want to get the leadoff man. And here, with Chili Davis hitting behind him, you want to get Youngblood. Single to left his first time. Pops it into right, and that is a hit. A little flare and a base hit. A 4th of July flare. You'd like to have one of those with you when you get a flat tire on the highway at night.
Jammed a little bit, but he fought it off. Made enough contact to get it in there.
Chili Davis grounded into a double play his first time. He's batting 4th with Jeff Leonard out of the lineup with a bad wrist. That's 4 hits for San Fran. We're in the 4th, tied 1-1. And Hurdle holds against the runner. Cardinals earlier in this game had a runner at third, one out, McGee up, and didn't get him home. More and more. The focus zooms in. Look out. The runner will go to second. McGee charged it well and held him to second base. More and more the focus zooms in on Tommy Herr and Willie McGee on this club. And of course now you got Clark out of there. And earlier you had Coleman struggling and Pendleton. Here's Chris Brown, applauded for his defensive work in this game. Second in the league in hitting. Grounded to third his first time.
He's just 24 years old, 185 pounds and 6 feet tall. Came out of Crenshaw High School down in Los Angeles.
I had some of his melon this morning.
You did? Crenshaw melon. You love that melon.
Right, I did. It was good, too.
He was a prep teammate of Darryl Strawberry's. Second round pick in the June '79 draft. And a pretty tough youngster in the clutch. Had a very controversial rookie season, as we said. There's some backstabbing going on and some problems, but he's certainly looking like he's going to be a very fine player in this league, Jack.
He's only 4 points behind Tony Gwynn for the #1 spot in the league in batting. Good pitch by Burris. Up and in. Brown gets hit quite a bit by pitches because he sails into the ball.
Led the National League in that department 11 times he was hit last season.
Well, I told you the trick here was to get Youngblood, but he got the hit. And then Davis got a hit. Cards could use the double play. Breaking ball fouled away. 1-2. Could use a strikeout as well. The on-deck hitter is Harry Spillman.
The American League East starting today. John McNamara's Boston band is 7 up on the Yankees. Texas is leading California by a half a game. Kansas City's lost 6 in a row. They're playing at Cleveland tonight, and they're in third place.
Pretty close at second, trying to nail Youngblood. 1-1 the score in the fourth, and the Giants threatening. They could move a game and a half out in front in the West because Houston lost at New York today. How's Burris going to try to get him? Foul ball, fastball in on him. At 47,000 last night, a good crowd today for a Friday afternoon holiday.
About 25,000 maybe?
Yeah, 25 plus. A lot of things to do in the Bay on a day off.
Yeah, I mentioned, of course, they have their big 4th of July ceremonies over at Chrissy Park in the Presidio area. Big crowd there today. Lots going on.
2 on, nobody out.
Well, we talked about that.
Yeah, well, that's a breaking ball that got away. It loads the bases with nobody out. That didn't hurt him a bit. Didn't hurt him a bit. The bases loaded, nobody out for Harry Spillman. That breaking ball stayed in on him. Youngblood down to third. Davis down to second. Brown at first. So Burris is in a big peck of trouble. We need a triple play. And a ball in the dirt. Spillman grounded to first his first time. Even a double play would put the Giants on top.
Lavallier's shaken up a little bit. He's hurting.
A little flare single to right by Youngblood. A ringing single into center field by Chili Davis. A hit batter. And the Cardinals get a pitcher ready out in the bullpen. And we're still waiting for Lavalier. There's Rick Horton warming up out there.
Jack, we ought to update everybody on Greg Matthews, who had to leave the game last night because of an inflamed nerve in his hip area.
Said he had no pain today.
Now he's re-examined again this morning, and he'll throw again, in a day or two, and just have to see how it is then. But apparently it's not a serious situation. At least we hope not. The doctors don't seem to think so.
Okay, Lavalier is set to go, and Burris has A nasty setting out there. Base it loaded, nobody out. And now he's behind on the count to Spillman. It makes him a better hitter. With nobody out, they hold the runner up at third on a double by Spillman. And it's 3-1.
Cardinals had that situation over the weekend in the 9th inning and couldn't score, but the Giants come through here.
Spillman pulled the ball and got it past Hurdle. Second and third, still nobody out, and the batter is Melvin, the catcher. 3 runs on 6 hits for San Francisco. Roger Craig is pulling the right strings. They had Brenly playing first base last night, put Spillman in there today. He's got another first baseman on the bench by the name of Aldretti. He didn't play him today.
Mentioned that Spillman was signed by the Giants back in June. He's from Georgia. Was hitting .246 at Detroit when they released him on June the 6th.
The infield comes in now. And strike 2 on Melvin, trying to go to right. Made a big difference when Burris got behind on the count to Spillman.
Most games that Spillman had played in the majors was 44 last year at Houston, as far as one season goes. He played 65 at Cincinnati in 1980.
2 quick strikes on the batter from Burris, and a big strikeout. 1 gone. Now they can walk Uribe and bring up Lacasse. That's his second strikeout. Uribe lined out to right his first time. And they talk it over on the mound.
Spillman was hitting .333 start of today. Had only 2 runs batted in. Now he has 4.
He doubled his output. We didn't get the triple play, did we?
I'd have settled for 1 at the plate, or 2 maybe, right?
Double play and a run scoring.
Whitey Herzog, the boss man of the Birds. And there's Roger Craig, of course, a man who has ties to the Cardinals. Fellow who's done quite a job here with the new leadership. Owner Bob Lurie bringing in Al Rosen. Rosen's bringing Bob Kennedy here. They've got things going pretty well.
Well, we had a single, a hit batsman. That really hurt. Then the double by Spillman. The strikeout of Melvin. That was a big out. Now they walk Uribe and will pitch to Lacasse with the bases loaded. He's not a joke with the bat. He's hit 2 home runs. One of those home runs was off of Dane Orge, when Orge ended up pitching for
That was the
San
afternoon
Diego.
that they got, what, 18 runs?
18 or 19.
Something like that.
They're having a good old time here with the music and all
Yes, sir.
that.
Hollywood.
Pitcher, Mike Lacasse.
It's fun to win.
Yeah, we remember last year.
There's a chance for the Giants to squeeze a runner home. They have a good runner at third base in Brown. Spillman down at second, Uribe at first. Lacasse struck out his first time. Base hit loaded, 1 out. Trying to stroke it to right, foul ball, strike 1.
If Conroy comes back in the next few days, which is a strong possibility for the Cardinals, Burris may well be relegated to the bullpen, and be interesting to see who goes out. It might be Owenby.
Base hit loaded, 1 out. Cards need the double play. There's strike 2. No fastballs for Lacasse to hit. He's had 2 home runs, driven in 80 runs. Prospect of a squeeze play diminishes with a 2-strike count on the batter. And a late swing and a foul. 3-1, the Giants lead here in the fourth. These two clubs have split the first 6. Horton still in the bullpen. The on-deck hitter is Kutcher. And another foul. Brown at third, Spillman at second base, Uribe at first, 1 out. Two-strike squeeze, throw home, force out, no other play. They didn't have to tag the runner. The bases were loaded. And Lacoste reaches on the fielder's choice. Burris bobbled it, but then got it to LaValliere. And they're 2 gone. Well, he had a good idea, but couldn't get it past the pitcher. Burris came very close to botching it up.
Had a little trouble getting a handle on it.
Now here's home run Kutcher up there. The most home runs this fella ever had in a year was 4. And he has 4 for the Giants. He's been a perennial minor leaguer. They brought him up with Gladden out of action, and he's hit 4 Giant home runs. He won it last night. He's homered here today. And there's strike 1.
He's got a .262 average. You brought him up in mid-June. He was having a very good go at Phoenix, batting up around the .360 mark, I think, there.
Well, where's all the power coming from?
I don't know.
He homered in the first inning here today, then grounded out to short.
He was batting .346 to be exact at Phoenix in the Pacific Coast League.
The lead runner is Spillman at third. Kutcher took the strike, and the crowd groaned. Strike 2.
This fella played Little League ball in Alaska, where he was born, and then Pony League and Colt League ball in Palmdale, California. He was a 4th-round selection in June of '79.
And into the dirt and blocked by LaValliere. Cardinals would like to get out of this, trailing only 3-1 and still in the game. Horton still in the bullpen for the Cardinals. Burr is due to bat second in the Redbird 5th. One and 2 to Randy Kutcher. And again, LaValliere got a glove on it.
Well, good thing he did, and he's made 2 very fine stops.
Spillman is not a fast runner at third. Kutcher will be swinging now. It's 2-2, and he knows that Burris doesn't want to run it to 3-2, so he'll get something around the plate. 2 runs are home here in the Giant 4th. Ball 3. Now they'll all go. Two out, bases loaded, 3-2 on the batter.
Always one of the most interesting and pretty plays in the game right here.
And a foul. He's got a pretty quick bat.
He really does.
That ball was in on him. He got a piece of it. Outfielders playing the pull just a bit. He homered last night, homered here today. Burris has to throw a strike. And a fly ball foul, and there's a half a play. Can anybody get there? No. The ball blew right into the seats.
Usually it goes into the seats on that side. Sometimes over here on the other side, it'll come back on the field.
You have to track him down out here. The runners return.
Show you the flagpoles in center field right now as the wind is starting to pick up. Usually does here about 2 in the afternoon.
There's Old Glory on the 4th of July and the California state flag. Base had loaded, 2 out, 3-2 on the batter. They'll all go. Two more runs are home. ball was in on him. It looked like ball 4, and he hit it. Singles into left, and he's driven in 3 of their runs. Strowman scored, Uribe scored, and it makes it 5-1. Now that ball was up. It wasn't out of the strike zone as I thought it was. Lacoste stopped at second base. Well, the Giants get the hits when they need them.
Thompson is the 9th man to bat in the inning against Burris.
Started with a little bloop single to right by Youngblood. Now they made 5 runs on 7 hits. It's been a 4-run 4th and a strike to Thompson. I wish he'd have made that pitch to the last batter. So Burris is on the ropes, even more so now. Got that pitch up to Kutcher. Is about the same spot where Kutcher had the ball for the home run in the first inning.
Kutcher now has 3 RBIs on the afternoon and 9 for the season. And 4 if you consider last night and today.
Foul ball. That's going to be out of play. The wind blows it away from the pursuing defensive players. And Horton stops throwing out in the bullpen. Giants trying to increase their lead to a game and a half in the National League West. Thompson is 0 for 2. Lacoste, the lead runner at second base. Broken bat, base hit, and a run will score. Safe all the way around. And another run is home, a 5-run 4th, making it 6-1, and that's going to be all. Thompson broke the bat and singled into left. So Burris couldn't get through the 4th inning. 3 2/3. He allows 6 runs, leaves 2 men on. Gave up 8 hits. 1 intentional walk, a hit batsman, and they had 2 strikeouts. Horton into the game. Happy trails to you, they play as Ray Burris heads for the shower.
Where in the world is Dale Evans and Roy Rogers when you need them? We're going to take time out. The Giants lead it 6-1. Burris is out of the game. And we'll be back with more in a moment.
These Giants have had a 5-run 4th, and they lead 6-1. Youngblood, who started it with a bloop single to right, is up there. He's already had 2 hits in the game. Runners at second and third and 2 out. As Rick Horton takes over for Ray Burris. Infield back, of course. Pop fly to end the inning. Kerr watches a blowout toward Kurt Ford, and he makes the catch. The inning is over. But 5 runs for San Francisco. On 5 hits. Plus a hit batsman and a walk. 2 left. They've left 3, and after 4, they lead the Cardinals 6-1. Eighth victory of the year. Chris Brown, their third baseman, was limping when he went out to his third base position. A little late coming out of the dugout and then limping a little bit. But he stays in there, and Lacoste prepares to pitch to Pendleton, Horton, and Coleman. Cardinals have 5 hits, missed a chance to have a big first inning, and then had runner on third with 1 out, McGee up in the 3rd inning. It could be closer than it is. What it is 6-1 San Francisco. So the Giants have knocked out the Cardinals starter, and now the Redbirds want to get after this fellow, Lacoste. At this point, he has retired 6 in a row. Ball one low. Pendleton popped out his first time. Giants got the hits when they needed them. A big one by Spillman and a big one by Kutcher. And those are not household names.
You're going to have a all-star game here on August the 17th. Budweiser's going to present an old-timers game, and they're going to have the 54 Indians playing here in a game against the old-timers.
Well hit ball by Pendleton, but Kutcher tracks it down.
Look at some of those names, Jack. Bob Feller, Al Rosen, who of course is running the baseball program here now.
Al Hardiman, Al Lopez,
Hal
Don Marcy.
Narragon.
Right.
Hal Narragon.
Newhouser.
Yeah, he was a good one. Newhouser.
Rudy Regalado, Wally Westlake.
Don Mossy. Dating ourselves, aren't we?
Bob Glynn. They'll have some fun here on the 17th.
Yeah, they will.
So there's one out as Pendleton fails and Horton takes a strike. 7 in a row by Lacasse. Horton with one of his few chances to bat this year. Clunks it towards short, cut off by Brown. 8 in a row. And around to the top, Coleman. He walked, stole a base. Number 52 scored the Cardinal run in the first inning. Then he doubled in the third, but that was wasted. Coleman comes up. 2 quick outs in the inning. Lacasse is making it look easy now. Coleman still has a chance to have an exemplary year in the base stealing department. Still has a chance to break Lou Brock's single season record of 118. Leads the National League by plenty. Ball one. Lacasse working a little more hurriedly now. Coleman tried to bunt and missed. One and one the count. Vince does a lot of bouncing around in that plate. His feet are moving, his hands are moving. He takes a strike. Vince's batting mark is .259. Sometimes it looks like he's not ready for the pitch with all of the jiggling that he does up there. Foul keeps him at the plate with 2 out here in the 5th inning. The score is 6-1 San Francisco. Giants started the day 7 games over 500 and a half game ahead of Houston. Houston has already lost. Atlanta's on the scene. They're only a game out right now.
Jack, that victory for the Mets, another 1-run victory for them, and they are now 17-6 in 1-run games.
A good bullpen with Orozco and McDowell, and of course those very good starters that they have. Strokes it to short. Uribe comes up throwing. That's 9 in a row. And we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Tilly Davis will lead it off against Rick Horton. Cardinals have been out hit 8-5 and trail 6-1.
Tonight at 9 Central Time, Stingray gets himself admitted to a psych ward to investigate a bizarre murder plot.
That'd be easy for me.
Oh, yeah. Nick Mancuso stars as Stingray tonight at 9, right after Miami Vice on Channel 5. Yeah, the way things are going, it'd be real easy to get admitted, huh?
Getting in is easy. Getting out is tough. Bottom of the fifth. First up, Chili Davis. He grounded into a double play, then singled and scored. Faces Horton for the first time. And he pops it up. And Hurdle plays the wind, fights the sun, 1 out. Horton came on and got the final out in the 4th inning. The batter is Chris Brown. 0 for 1. Hit by a pitch. You watch him limping as he goes up to the plate.
He is dragging a little, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know what he did.
He was criticized for missing too many games because of injuries in his rookie season here. I talked about some of the backstabbing that went on.
Yeah, they talk about his energy level. It's a little bit low, but he's turned down now. He's hitting 340, 339 actually, ball 1.
They criticized him for what I guess some of the media types out here have called a lack of intensity.
Fly ball for McGee. Willie didn't know where to go on that.
No, sir. It's a double. Willie seemed to have it in his sights, and all of a sudden he lost it. That could be a wind current or what, but he should have made the play, and he knows it. It's going to be a double.
He turned around 2 different directions. A pretty good pitch from Horton. There's McGee going to his right, then back to his left, and the ball just blew right over his head and off his glove for a double in the 9th giant hit. You know, the way the wind is blowing, Willie should have figured the ball was going to come to him. Sliced off the bat of the right-handed hitter. And Brown's talking it over with Roger Craig, or the first base coach talking it over with Roger Craig.
Bob Brenly is going to come into the game right now and hit for Harry Spillman.
Spillman had a bases-loaded double in the 4th inning. He's lifted now for Brenly.
Brenly was 0 for 3 in the game here last night as he got a starting shot.
Hit a couple of balls hard last night into left field, but the wind held him up. Ball 1 from Horton. There's a base open. And a pretty good double play candidate waiting on deck in Bob Melvin. So let's see if they pitch to Brenly. In at the knees, 1-1.
He hit only .220 last season, but he did have 19 home runs and 56 RBIs. Former All-American at your alma mater, Ohio State.
Where? Really?
Yes, sir.
I didn't know that. Ohio State or Ohio U?
Ohio State.
And a foul goes out of play.
You're going to check on that, aren't you? You didn't know he went to Ohio State.
No, I didn't. Doesn't matter. Giants leading 6-1 and threatening to get more. Cardinals will face Vida Blue tomorrow. And down goes the batter.
You're right again. It was Ohio University,
yes,
not Ohio
State. Struck out.
Yes, sir. Well, if he'd have been to Ohio State, it would have been different.
Ohio U in Athens, Ohio.
Yeah, nice school.
2 out on the batter Melvin as Horton gets his first strikeout. Giants leading 6-1 in the 5th. That was a nasty inning when they chased Ray Burris. Foul ball. Melvin is doubled and struck out. What do you think of these Giants? You think they're capable of winning it?
I sure do. I think they're very capable, and I think the move that they've made for the pocket change of about $30,000 to see if Mr. Carlton can help them was a very excellent move. Mike Shannon was talking last evening. He thinks Carlton will pitch very well out here.
We'll find out Sunday. That game will be televised also, right?
Certainly will. We'll be on the air at 3 Central Time tomorrow as well as Sunday.
0-2 the count. Horton should have been out of this inning. The ball eluded McGee in center field. Ball 1. Tomorrow, John Tudor will pitch. He's been having a lot of trouble winning number 7. He's pitched extremely well in some of his games. Not in every game. Not his last one. Vida Blue will oppose him. And another foul by Melvin. Keeps it 1-2.
They got a sound effects record. That ball went into one of the luxury boxes off to the right side. They crash it like it broke a window.
Brown on at second base, 2 out.
They've livened things up here, haven't they, Jack?
Being in first place really puts everybody in a good mood. Line drive right at Pendleton, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left, 4 left for the Giants after 5. They about hit the Cardinals 9-5 and lead 6-1.
Special promotion dates at Busch Stadium coming up. July 19th is baseball day. We showed you that ball earlier. Camera Day, July the 20th. Saturday the 26th is Visor Day. The Sport Bag Day comes up Sunday the 27th of July. In August, Wednesday, August 6th is Coffee Mug Night. Sunday, August 10th is T-Shirt Day. We have played 5 innings, 6-9-0 for the Giants, 1-5-0 for the Cardinals. Want to send along our very best wishes to a great friend of mine, been in St. John's Hospital. My wonderful dentist, Mr. Poe, Dr. Earl Poe. Great fellow. And he's been having a tough battle lately, and I hope he's feeling a lot better.
Bob Brenly takes over at first base after pinch hitting. We go into the 6th inning with the Giants leading 6-1. This is what happens when you have a starter who doesn't keep you in the game. And Ozzie Smith leads it off against Mike Lacasse, who has retired 9 in a row. Ozzie, a bunt single, 1 for 2, strike called. We're underway in the 6th. Cardinals have 5 hits. They've left 3, lost 2 men stealing, haven't had a runner since the 3rd inning. When Coleman led off with the double but failed to score. Strike 2 to Smith. Lacasse can make some pitches. You don't win 7 games by accident.
They were willing to give this fellow another chance, and he has responded very, very well.
10-game winners in the league. Fernandez of New York, Krukow of the Giants, who won here last night, Shane Rawley of the Phillies, Mailer of Atlanta, Valenzuela of the Dodgers. He's pitching tonight. Nepper of Houston, and today Dwight Gooden won his 10th game as the Mets beat Houston 2-1. Foul ball keeps it 1-2.
The Mets beat Ryan in that one, didn't they, Jack?
They did. Well, he wasn't the loser.
He wasn't the loser,
started.
but he did start.
Dave Smith took the loss. Smith has 16 saves, but he's 1-5. Reardon leads the league in saves with 18. Ozzie pops it into left center. That ball is going to be caught by the left fielder. 10 in a row. You see a lot of these hitters, the left-handed hitters, hitting the ball to the opposite field with an inside-out swing. You get the wind blowing a gale toward right field here. Watch the swing. Hands out in front and stroking into the opposite field. When in a ballpark like this, conditions like this, you should be hacking away and pulling the ball and trying to hit it hard. That's why we don't have any people hitting home runs. Coleman none, Smith none, Hurdle 1, Ford 1, Bowyer none, Pendleton none.
Everybody seems to be sawing it a little bit,
right.
You know, sawing it off.
10 in a row retired. And ball 1 to McGee. Strike 1. In the 6th. Very unaggressive at the plate. And then with it all, when they need a ground ball and need contact, Cardinal players have been striking out, popping the ball up or whatever. You would think if they are hitting in this fashion, that is inside out, that they'd seldom strike out. And always make contact. 1-2. McGee's in the hole. Drove in the run in the 1st inning with a hit. And left a runner on at 3rd with a ground ball to short his next time. 2-2. We see too many pitchers who are not really good pitchers in the top echelon who handle the Cardinals much too easily. Here's a foul out of play, keeping it 2-2. Sun beating down, a cloudless sky here in San Francisco. There'll be a lot of sailboats out in the bay today.
Oh, boy.
Probably have some racing at the St. Francis Yacht Club.
There's racing across the bay at the Pleasanton Fair today of a different kind.
Here's one up the middle, and the second baseman boots it. He didn't know whether to get in front of the ball or backhand the ball. He was a little bit in between. He probably should have been content there to just backhand the ball. Watch him.
Robbie
The
Thompson.
ball sunk on him a little bit.
He's a youngster, of course, just 24 years old.
That's an error for him. First boot of the game.
Committed 3
Hurdle
errors
is the batter.
last night with the Giants.
Yeah, they tried to give it to the Redbirds in the 9th inning last night, but the Cardinals couldn't get the hit from her who made the final out. Ball 1. It's the 10th error of the year for their second baseman.
They've committed now a total of 67 on the year.
He's made 10. Her has made 7. Cardinals made 61 errors. That's too much for this team. 7 by her, 6 by Heath, 10 by Pendleton, 11 for Ozzie Smith. Hurdle hammered at it. That puts him in the hole. 1 and 2. 1 on 1 out. Nice Hurdle got out and tried to pull the ball there. Cardinals trailing 6-1, trying to cash in on the error. Lacoste can keep that ball down, make you hit the ball on the ground, and this heavy grass here at San Francisco keeps the infielders busy. Ooh, it just missed. Bob Melvin behind the plate, and their regular catcher, Bob Brenly, is playing first base. Lacoste with a new lease on life. He's beaten the Cardinals twice this year. And a foul out of play as he spoiled a tough pitch. We're in the 6th inning. Cardinals have been out hit 9-5. Tomorrow, Tudor and Vita Blue, pitcher and catcher, talk it over. There's Clint Hurdle. Clint's had a disappointing year. Had a very good spring with the Cardinals. They liked him because of his versatility. Can catch, play first base, outfield, third base. But his hitting has been very poor.
.134 the average at the moment.
And 9 hits. 9 out of 67. That's not many. McGee at first, 1 out. He's out on the outside corner. That's the pitch that fanned him in the first inning. Lacoste has 2 strikeouts and Hurdle a victim both times. Well, with Clark out of the lineup, we don't have a number. You know, we've been looking for a number 5 hitter. Now we don't have a number 5 hitter or a 4 hitter. Here's Kurt Ford. And he really doesn't fit the category of a number 5 RBI man. He is 0 for 2 in this game. McGee at first, 2 out. McGee not going anywhere. Strike on a breaking ball. Ford, a little fella, to 155 pounds. Batting .295. One good thing about the hitting of Ford, he's shown the ability to pull the ball. He's in the hole now 0-2. Off-speed pitch dropped in. Can't quarrel with what's happening here. The Giants knocked the Cardinal starter out, Ray Burris. Got the hits when they needed them. Scored 5 in the 4th, 3 of them after 2 were out. Ball 1. We'll play 2 more here at San Francisco, go to Los Angeles, and 4 against the Padres. These players aren't having much fun on the Cardinal team. It's not fun to come out here and get your brains beat out time and again. A lot of frustrating games. One and 2 the count. Lacoste takes his time out there. Trying to pitch around the error. Were not for the error, he would have retired 12 in a row here. Cardinals haven't had a hit since the 3rd inning. Foul ball past Hacker, coaching at first. Six to 1 San Francisco. San Francisco near the top. Well, club batting. In fact, the Mets lead and the Giants are second. High pop fly, and the second baseman Thompson glasses down, fights the wind, and makes the catch. Nothing's easy here, I tell you that. 1 error and 1 left for the Cardinals, who've left 4. We go into the bottom of the 6th inning. And it's going to be Uribe to lead it off. The Giants have a 6-1 lead.
Coming up Sunday, July 20th, Redbirds and the Dodgers at 1:15. All the fans with the cameras allowed on the field prior to the game to take the pictures of their favorite Cardinals. And, of course, Fred Bird will be there. You can take a picture of him. Gates open at 11:45. As Mr. Buck always says, you never know how you look until you've had your picture took. Remember, July the 20th is Camera Day at Busch Stadium.
These Giants are stacking up well in the league. 2nd in the league in hitting as a team. And 4th in the league. That is counting both divisions with regard to their pitching. Former Cardinal Uribe has lined out to right, and he was given a walk in the 4th inning. Switch hitter Rick Horton on the mound. Scooper for Pendleton, and out by quite a bit to start the bottom of the 6th inning, and it brings up Lacoste, who'll be applauded by the crowd here.
And right now we'll pause for local station identification. This is the Cardinals Television Network.
Your home for St. Louis Cardinals baseball. This is KLJB TV Davenport.
Lacoste is 0 for 2. Lacoste is 0 for 2. He bunted with the bases loaded in the 4th inning into a force-out. Burris bobbled the ball. Had he not bobbled the ball, he might have had a double play on that. And the Giants went on to get 3 additional runs. Horton doing well in relief. 2 outside pitches, and he got the call both times. You see, Lacoste doesn't complain to the umpire because he wants more of the same when he goes out there to pitch. The pitch is inside. Horton has no strikeouts. 2-2. Six to 1 San Francisco, bottom of the 6th. Getting late. They have a pretty good bullpen out there with Davis and Minton and some of the others. 3-2. There's another one for Pendleton. And 2 out. Brings up the top of the order. Here's a new hero in San Francisco, Randy Kutcher. Takes a little time going to the plate to allow Lacoste to get some time on the bench. Kutcher hit a home run in the 1st, his 4th of the year. And then he drove in 2 runs in the 4th inning with a base hit. Who is this man? Longtime minor league player, 26-year-old rookie, strike called. Giants have gone down in order only once in the game. The Cardinals in their 7th inning will have Herr to lead it off. With Clark out of the lineup, it's really difficult to anticipate a big inning. You say, well, we got Smith and McGee and Clark coming up. Well, anything could happen. It's not that way anymore.
No, Whitey was bemoaning the fact that, Clark in the lineup meant that you had a shot in a close game going into the 9th, but it's tough.
Ozick loves the ball, hit by Kutcher, and they finally got him out. And Horton sets them down in order, and he has retired 5 in a row. We have played 6 innings here at Candlestick, and the Giants lead the Cardinals 6-1.
Second baseman, Tommy Herr.
Tonight after the news, NBC has a special Wimbledon tennis update at 10:30 Central Time, and that'll be followed by Johnny Carson, The Tonight Show, and Johnny's guest tonight, Alan King, and musician Pete Fountain, the man from New Orleans. That's all tonight on Channel 5. Tommy Herr leads it off. We move into the 7th inning, 6-9-1 for the Giants, 1-5-0 for the Cardinals. Here again, Old Irish Mike Shen.
Thank you, Jennings. Tommy's 1 for 2 today. He's singled, was out stealing back in the 2nd, lined hard to the 3rd baseman in the 4th, and leads it off here in the 7th.
Mentioning Wimbledon, of course, the women's final tomorrow, and on Sunday morning, breakfast at Wimbledon for the men's final. A lot of good tennis coming up in the mornings for you, and then baseball in the afternoons from Candlestick.
Tomorrow, 2 very fine left-handers with John Tudor going against Vida Blue. And let's see, we'll be on the air right around 3 o'clock. Pat Perry throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. Mike Lacasse has everything going his way against the Cards today. And a good sinker fools Herr. He's in the hole with a 1-2 count. 6-1 San Francisco. They had a 5-run outburst in the 4th as they sent 10 men to the platter. They knocked out Burris. Lacasse all the way for San Francisco today, and if they win, they'll extend the Cardinal losing streak to 8. Good play by Lacasse, and he takes care of Tommy Herr. And on the Giants side of the ledger, there'll be a game and a half out in front of Houston, who lost today to New York. Mike LaValliere singled in the 2nd inning, his first time up, grounded to 3rd on a sparkling play by Chris Brown, his last time up. LaValliere in his last 8 starts has batted .360. He has a home run this year, 11 RBIs. And he could rip one over these boards here, get it up into the wind down the right side, and it'll carry out. He's taken over the catching duties as far as the left-handed side. He's been platooning with Mike Heath. Too low. I'll give you a shot of the catcher, Bob Melvin, and watch how he looks to the San Francisco dugout just before he puts his finger down. Doesn't do it on this occasion, but we'll let you catch him. He gets the signals from the dugout. Roger Craig calls the pitches here. Well, I guess leading 5 by 5 runs, he gets to call the pitches. Here's a ground ball to the 2nd baseman. Thompson throws out LaValliere, and we have 2 down quickly here in the 7th inning. The Cardinals haven't had a base hit since a leadoff double by Vince Coleman back in the 3rd inning. The only man to reach since then was Willie McGee on an error. Lacasse had retired 10 in a row before McGee reached on the air in the 6th, and he's retired every one since. It brings in Terry Pendleton with nobody on, 2 outs, and Andy Van Slyke on deck. He'll be the pinch hitter. for Rick Carton. If Pendleton can reach here. Terry's 0 for 2. He's popped the short line to center. And he takes ball too high. Vida Blue and John Tudor tomorrow, and then I guess they're still going to go with Steve Carlton on Sunday.
That's the plan. He'll go against Danny Cox.
And we'll see the future Hall of Famer in his third big league uniform. The Cardinals, the Phillies, and now with San Francisco. It'll be interesting to see who's right on the Carlton decision. The Phillies in releasing him or the Giants in signing him. I'll go into the seats and go for a souvenir. As you see one of this holiday crowd here in Candlestick Park.
Bill Giles, the man who runs the Phillies, agonized over the decision to let Carlton go after seeing him against the Redbirds lose a 4-run lead when the Cardinals were last in Philadelphia. Giles made the decision, but then said it took him nearly 48 hours to get up enough courage to tell Lefty he was going.
Struck him out for Lacoste. That's 3 strikeouts in the game. We have 7th inning stretch time out here in San Francisco in the Bay Area. Candlestick Park, they're on their feet as the Giants come to bat. San Francisco leads 6-1. Take me out to the ball game. They sing and play here at the Stake. And boy, are they loving Take Me Out to the Ball game here now in the Bay Area. They're atop the Western Division in the National League and enjoying every moment of it. They won here last night on a brilliant 4-hit shutout by Mike Krukow. And they lead here today 6-1 behind Mike Lacoste. Rick Carton's still in the action. He works at home to Rob Thompson. Thompson today is 1 for 3. He's grounded out twice, and he has an RBI single. They play him to pull. Almost hit him. The slider goes to the screen. 1-1. On the air tomorrow at 3 o'clock. And again on Sunday. Ooh, it just missed. Big gap in right center for Thompson. Came in today batting .262. 3 home runs and 25 RBIs. He's one of the 5 rookies on this roster. Thompson will be followed by Youngblood and Chili Davis here for Harton in the 7th. Willie McGee will get this one, or will Vince take it? Vince says he'll try. 1 down, 7th inning. And it brings in Joel Youngblood. Youngblood is 2 for 3 today. Batted twice in the 4th inning. Singled in the 1st, singled in the 4th, and flied to right in the 4th. He was the 10th man to bat in that inning. Youngblood's been around. He's worn a number of uniforms. The Mets, the Cards, the Reds, just to name a few. Harden gets the first one in. The Redbirds are about to fall 23 games out of the Eastern Division lead. Mets won, and the Cards are losing here. And you'll have to go back a long ways to find a Cardinal baseball team that's been that far out in a pennant race. In fact, you'll have to go back into the 50s. That's as far as we've gone back at the moment anyway. 23 games out on July the 4th after being 1 play away from the World Championship in 1985. A little low, and it's 3-2. Nobody on, 1 out, 7th inning. San Francisco trailed 1-0 after a half inning, tied it on Kutcher's home run. And here's another good play by Terry Pendleton. Low but out. 2 down. Terry, with very good fielding fundamentals, knocked that ball down. You watch the hot shot to him. He bends at the waist, leans over, and when the ball goes off his glove, it hits his chest and lays right down in front of him. Scoops it up and gets his man. Youngblood does not run with some of these Giant players, and Terry took advantage of that, nipped him just by an inch or 2. Here's Chili Davis. He's 1 for 3. He's grounded into a double play, singled and scored, and fouled out. Broken bat will be handled by Vince. Don't go too deep now, Vince. He plays it perfectly. 3 up, 3 down. We played 7. Giants are still on top. 6-1.
Well, as we get set to move into the 8th inning here, 6-1 the Giants, and our good friends from McDonald's Restaurants indicate to you that it was New York 2-1 over Houston. That means at this moment the Giants have a 1-game advantage. They can make it a game and a half if they win here this afternoon. Tonight, Cincinnati's at Philadelphia, Montreal at Atlanta. Chicago plays at San Diego, and the Pirates are in Los Angeles tonight. Andy Van Slyke is going to come into the ball game right here as he'll lead it off in the 8th inning. Van Slyke batting for Horton, and Mike Horton did a good job while he was out there.
And he's done an excellent job since coming off the disabled list. Here he goes 3 1/3. Gives San Francisco no runs on only 1 base hit, and while the left-hander was in there, he walked no one and struck out a man. Pat Perry will be the new pitcher. It'll be the first time that he works since having that collision at first base. As you see, Van Slyke ground out 4-3.
Van Slyke still has that hand of his. You can see it as he goes to the dugout, that left hand bandaged up. He grounds out, trying to get something started here in the 8th. The Giants have 6 runs on 9 hits. They've committed the only error in the game. 1-5-0 for the Cardinals. Both clubs scored in the first. The Cardinals had a big opportunity for a rally and ended up getting a run on 2 hits, stranded 1. And Randy Kutcher hit his 2nd home run in 2 games. That's the way it went until the Giants plated 5 in the 4th. Coleman takes a strike.
You know, the kid center fielder Kutcher, Jay, he was destined to be a San Francisco Candlestick center fielder. Born in Anchorage, Alaska, played Little League up there, so these cool days and nights are nothing for him.
Uribe comes across and throws out Coleman, and quickly they're 2 down.
Would you say that was destiny?
Well, I would say that he's come up and done very, very well.
There's nothing cold about his bat, is there?
No, sir. He has been a very good help to this Giant club. They've had a lot of fellows on the DL and still do, as we mentioned earlier. Ozzie bunted his way on in the first, stranded at 3rd, grounded out in the 3rd, and flied to left in the 7th. He takes high. Crowd of about 25,000 sitting in here at Candlestick. A lovely afternoon in the Bay Area. Hope it's been a very nice 4th of July for you and yours.
Really a revolting development to see the Cardinals with a possibility, if they lose here, to be 23 games out of first place in the National League on the 4th of July.
And it's been 25 years since they've been this far back at this point in the season. 3 balls and no strikes to the Cardinal shortstop. That one's in there, 3-1.
Lacoste had retired 10 in a row before McGee reached on an error in the 6th, and now he's set down 7 in a row since that. Make it 8.
Brenly, the first baseman who took over for Spillman, handles it. And we played 7.5 here at the Stick, and the Giants lead it 6-1. Huh? Pat Pat Perry goes to the mound for the Cardinals. He follows Ray Burris and Ricky Horton. Pat's a youngster from Taylorville, Illinois. This is his 23rd game. He's 1-2 and a 4.36 ERA. Up with the club for the second time this season. Chris Brown will stand in. Brown is grounded out. He was hit by a pitch in the 4th, and he doubled in the 5th. First pitch is low from Perry. Tomorrow afternoon here, John Tudor and Vida Blue will hook up. The Giants have a couple of hurlers loosening up down the right side. Swing and a miss. Frank Williams is the right-hander down there. And actually they have two right-handers. That's foul outside of first. Can't pick up who that other pitcher is down there. I believe it might be still can't see that number. Frank Williams is one of the pitchers loosening up for the Giants. I can't tell who the other one is, Mike. Maybe you can pick it up. There. That's Robinson.
That's Juan Berenguer.
Oh, it's Juan Berenguer, is it?
Let me take a look.
Or Robinson. Might be Robinson.
It is Williams. And Robinson, tall, blonde right-hander.
And Mike LaValliere coming over, bothered by the sun. Might have had a play on that ball, but just couldn't get to it because he didn't see it well enough.
One of the great plays in the history of baseball happened here at Candlestick Park. We'll give you a look at the Cardinal catcher as he tries to catch up on one of these tough foul balls and runs right into the San Francisco dugout. But years ago, and it was on a game of the week for NBC, Jay, their manager was Charlie Fox, and he's here at the ballpark today. He was over in the dugout, and as you see, they just stand over there in the dugout. And there was a high pop fly that came over that way, and he had his hands cupped around his mouth, telling the first baseman, Willie McCovey, he said, a lot of room, a lot of room. And as he was saying that, the ball hit him right on top of the head.
Right on top. Brown strikes out, and Perry now will face Brenly. Brenly came into the game in the 5th, replacing Harry Spillman, and he struck out at that time. Outside from Pat Perry. Slashed foul down toward the Giant bullpen. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, if you're just joining us, each club got a run in the first. It went along till the bottom of the 4th when the Giants struck for 5 runs, and it's 6-1 Giants as we play here in the bottom of the 8th inning. That one gets away. The Cardinals, if they don't rally, will be losing their 8th in a row. That'll be their longest losing streak of the season. And the Giants, with the win last night, the win today, and the Mets' defeats of Houston, will be a game and a half ahead in the National League's West. Ozzie deep in the hole, across the diamond. 2 gone. Bob Melvin, the catcher, is doubled, struck out in line to third.
Catcher Bob Melvin.
We look again at Ozzie make this play, almost back on the grass there.
This kid Melvin's done a fine job.
He really has.
Giants, hasn't
He apparently is about to step in front of Brenly as the starting catcher for the most part here.
One of the big reasons for that is the fact that he's been so successful throwing out would-be base stealers.
Tommy Herr. And Perry gets him 1, 2, 3. And we'll go to the 9th inning. The Cardinals will have McGee, Hurdle, and Ford due up, and hopefully more, as they will need 5 to tie. 6-1 the Giants. Ninth inning here at Candlestick, along with Jack Buck and Mike Shannon, Jay Randolph. Mike Bush will join Mr. Shannon and Mr. Buck tomorrow to handle the coverage of the third game of this series, as I'll be across the way in another booth.
Sure, you're leaving us to do the NBC network, man. You drop us like a hot poker when it comes to that green cash.
Nothing personal, believe me, nothing personal.
Sure, big shot. Go over there and do the NBC game and leave us little fellas over here to fight this 8-game losing streak unless they can mount a rally here. The offense hasn't been too potent today, I would say.
Well, McGee got the only Cardinal RBI with a single in the first. He grounded out in the third and reached on an error in the sixth. We're in the ninth. Cardinals have been out hit 9-5. Cardinals were able to come up with only 4 hits last night as Krukow went all the way. It looks like Lacoste will go all the way today, and hey, you have to hand it to these Giants, and for that matter, some of these other clubs. I guess the Cardinals are making them look good, but these teams have played very well against us too, Mike.
Well, the Cardinals today had 5 hits through the first 3 innings, and since then, it's been nothing but goose eggs. The only man to reach since the 3rd inning was Willie McGee on an error by the second baseman in the 6th. So Lacoste had retired 10 in a row before that error. Now he's set down 8 after that in succession.
Well, I see the Giants are finally admitting that it will be Carlton on Sunday. They put it on their message board. Tudor versus Vida Blue tomorrow, and Danny Cox against Carlton on Sunday.
Be interesting to see what kind of a crowd we get here Sunday with Carlton pitching.
Well, they've sold over 40,000 seats for the Willie McCovey Hall of Fame ceremonies that will precede the game, and going to be a big day honoring McCovey. And now with Carlton on tap for Sunday, they might have 45 to 50,000 here.
Be nice to see Willie McCovey again.
Yeah, it will be. Willie Mays is going to be here. 2-2 pitch.
Pretty good 1-2 punch in your lineup, wouldn't you say? McCovey and Mays.
We'll be covering Mike on Sunday. We're on the air at 3 o'clock Central Time. We'll be covering some of those ceremonies and try to capture a little bit of the activities here prior to that game that will honor Willie McCovey. They've retired 6 numbers, have the Giants, over the years. We can give you a look at those out in the right field side.
Well, I played against 3 of them, and you played against the other 3.
Well,
I played against Mays and Marichal and McCovey. You played against Hubble, Ott, and Terry, didn't you?
Well, I saw Ott play. I really did. I saw him play in the old Polo Grounds. He used to lift that front foot, you know. Payoff pitch coming. Fouled away, and we'll do it again. Saw Mays and Marichal and McCovey. I don't think I ever saw Hubble. I'm sure of that. Terry, I don't think so either. Well, another rough afternoon for the Cardinals, down 6-1. And into center field, right to Kutcher.
Oh, I tell you, that kid doesn't look like a rookie. When he goes after the tough line drives here in Candlestick Park, that wasn't that easy. He made it look easy, though, didn't he?
Well, he's a pretty experienced kid. He's not really a kid, as Jack mentioned earlier on. He's 26 years old. He's been around a while. Clint Hurdle pops it up into short left. Youngblood and Kutcher. Kutcher gets the call. They're 2 gone. Hurdle is 0 for 4.
That's 10 in a row again. So really, if it wasn't for the error, it'd be 21 in a row. Retired.
Ford reached on a fielder's choice, flied to center, and popped out in the 6th. And this crowd whooping it up. Right down the middle. Change up, caught the outside corner. And the fans come to their feet just as they did last night, anticipating the victory. They're already on their feet here. Oh, look at this crowd. It's something. They are turned on here in the Bay Area by these Giants. That one got away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ford. The Cardinals on the verge of their longest losing streak of 86. This will be 8 losses in a row. Just outside, 2-2. Fly ball into left. Youngblood is coming on. He gets there, and the Giants lead the National League's West by a 1.5 games. They get a complete game from Mike Lacasse. 6-1 San Francisco. Back with some final thoughts in a moment. Here at Candlestick, 6 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the high-flying Giants. They left 4. Lacasse is the winner. He is 8-3. 1-5-0 for the Cardinals. 4 left. Burris the loser. He is 4-4. The Midas Touch Award brought to you by your local Midas Muffler and Brake Shops. And our Midas Touch Award goes to Mike Lacasse, who was brilliant here as he handled the Cardinals in very fine fashion. The award, a donation to Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital in the name of Mike Lacasse. Well, the Cardinals have lost the first 2 here. They have lost 8 in a row. And the Giants are rolling along now with a 1.5 game lead in the West. And the Cardinals' record has dropped to 32-45. Well, Mike Shannon, tomorrow afternoon, it'll be John Tudor against Vida Blue.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see those 2 very talented left-handers hook up. And then here on Sunday, Jay, a chance to see Steve Carlton pitch again. Some said that no one would sign him. That's not true. The Giants have, and he'll pitch here Sunday afternoon against Danny Cox.
And we'll remind those of you in the St. Louis area, we'll be joining Nightly News with Tom Brokaw and coverage of a lot of the July 4th and Miss Liberty festivities today, of course, in New York. And then a little later on, the Eyewitness News team will be along. So for Jack Buck and for Mike Shannon, Jay Randolph from Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The final was 6-1 the Giants. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is a presentation of KSDK Sports. Again, a pleasant 4th of July from the Bay Area.